We have all sorts of exciting stuff coming for the engine, the front end, the seat, the suspension. None of it is here currently. What I should probably do is like weld up some little things and tidy things up and finish up odds and ends, but that sounds boring. So I'm gonna make more work for myself and start designing a lower control arm. I have this one on the bench to measure and that one to look at. And I realize they're different. If you look at the backside of this one and the spring perch, it's just kind of smooth, rounded, flattens off, and the little inner spring retainer ring, whatever you want to call that, is the highest point. Look at this one. It's like totally different. It's got this extra kind of little ridge going on here, and then it's also got this thing that isn't there on the other one, and this point here is, and then the spring perch is like spiraled down more. Different models must have been replaced at some point. I'm gonna cut out this profile here, which is the side profile of the lower A-arm that I'm gonna build. I'm just gonna cut this out of some super thin scrap metal because I wanna hold it up, make sure it's gonna be all the things that I think it's gonna be and that it's gonna look good. This is a test. This is only a test. You know what's funny? This is a piece from Edwin's bus.
That's what it's from?
The one that we built, or mess around with, I shouldn't say built, at like 7. Jeez. At the very, very, very beginning of our channel. We did like a couple episodes on it. This is a piece of scrap metal from that. Also, why do I remember that? And why did I keep it around for 7 years?
Just for this moment.
Just for this moment. Also, look at how much more ground clearance that is. If you're wondering what this hole is for, that should be more or less where this is supposed to go. Obviously, it'll be higher, so the tie rod, push rod will need to be shorter. But my plan is, this hole is gonna go all the way through the A-arm. This is 1.5 inch diameter. It's gonna slip a piece of 1.5 inch tubing all the way through it, which will help add a bunch of strength. And then afterward, for this end, I can make a threaded bung that slots into that and weld it on for the bolt that holds this on. This here looks pretty much like a Humvee A-arm, but cooler and high clearance. And there's only 2 weeks left to enter to win this awesome 2024 Cummins, plus $20,000 cash and a little electric pit bike from Electro & Co. So head over to grindhardplumbingco.com. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win that beast of a truck. Corner there. I wasn't watching, so I don't know what it actually did, but it did not cut.
It looked normal to me. I watched it go all the way to that spot.
It might have just been too close. If it touches, it does funky things. Fresh half sheet, fresh piece. Use the auto level feature on the Arc Droid to make sure that it knows exactly where flat is, should be ready to cut. I feel like this P&O steel also cuts slightly better. Maybe it's just because it looks nice.
I know you got a fresh tip, but it also like seems smoother somehow, so.
Man, I'm burning through this sheet in a hurry.
Yeah, for real.
That's okay. Most niftified. Last plate I cut out, I messed up when I extruded it in the program. So I'm gonna have to add in a little chunk later, but it's not worth wasting this whole piece just for one little chunk there. This is most definitely gonna be the coolest looking A-arm I've ever built. And also probably the beefiest and heaviest. But it might still turn out lighter than the Humvee one, hopefully. Last time it turned out that measuring how much to bend these angles was a waste of time. So I am going to compare them to the things that they go to. You can see here, this side was supposed to be a mirror of that side, but I messed that up, which is not the end of the world. It's just a tiny little tab to give it a little bit of extra strength. But realistically, I could also just lop both of them off in a matching fashion once I do the other parts.
So it looks like you just gotta shorten this by about 3 inches later, huh?
Something like that. Yeah, so I could also make a couple of tabs that go right on top here and sandwich it. Just depends on what I decide. Didn't get anything that I'd planned to get done today, but I did design and build most of an A-arm.
Yeah, there was a while where you were thinking about holding off on these for quite a while.
Yeah, and then I realized if I don't do it now, I might not do it at all, so I should just do it now. I was trying to nest these things all nicely together and then didn't think about the fact that the way I oriented this is not a shape that the arc droid can cut in one piece.
Einstein's in the UPS truck again.
Einstein? It's so funny. He hops up in there before you're even done driving.
I know it. He's got it down.
Yep.
He's got a cookie monster here.
Yep.
Okay, we're coming out the back first this one.
Guys, where's the loyalty? Come on. I feed you twice a day.
Yeah.
She gives you a cookie like once every 3 days.
No, that is more important. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Come on, dogs. Ooh, this is exciting. So, what's in this box was actually suggested in a handful of comments. I can't remember who it was, but I saw a couple comments about it. And I hadn't thought about this for the trike until I saw the comment, but after I did, I decided it was the perfect answer. So we reached out to Kirky, and they sent us this beautiful racing seat with some pads.
That thing looks sweet.
And it weighs nothing. Feel it.
this.
Yeah. So that is going to be the new seat for this here trike.
That's good too. It'll kind of like hold you in place.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll keep you from falling out, which is very important.
Yeah, you don't want to be ran over by one of these.
Yeah, this is awesome. So whoever suggested it, thank you. These seats are typically used in like, drag racing applications, that sort of stuff, where every little gram of weight is critical. That's not the case for what we're building here, but looking really awesome and having a seat that keeps you safely attached to your vehicle, those things are important. View of a supercharged Humvee. Look at that.
It's a good parking spot.
Well, I used it to skid a log this morning. Well, I actually used it to pull down a tree because I utterly failed at felling the tree and it got hung up. So I used the Humvee to winch it down.
Pretty close.
For eyeballing, that is not half bad. Close enough. It's a little bit past, but I'll just whack it with a hammer. It'll be good. That's looking spiffy. 3 more pieces to cut, maybe 4, depending on whether I should probably make it 4, because this little strip here, it'll be a lot easier to just do the 2 sides and then do that strip rather than have it be. I mean, technically I could make that all one piece, but it's not worth it. Look at that. Obviously the piece won't go all the way through permanently, but it'll help for aligning those other 2 pieces. Last 2 major pieces cut, and I cut this, which is supposed to be the piece that goes in there, but it's I shrunk it for the thickness of the metal, but I did it wrong. So that is scrap. Yonder to the break once more. Piece of 1.5 inch tubing. I think it's fine-tuned enough. That satisfying piece right there. And it? Yeah. It looks so much better than that bulky piece of turd. Yup. Much better than the bulky turd. Space that away a little bit.
Was that the last piece you needed?
One more, but it's already cut. I just have to bend it to fit in here. One of them's bent a little too much. That's what hammers are for! Right, Bjorn? push-ups you got on this one?
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make push-up bets. My neck still hurts
From that?
Yeah.
Shoot. Oh, I got it this morning. The second the camera turns on, the pressure is on, man. So I still have to lop out this section here, but that's not enough weight to really make a difference. Let's see if it weighs more or less than the old one. I'd be willing to bet it's pretty much a similar level of strength. It's stronger in some ways, less overkill in others, but it's way cooler looking. All right, the answer is it weighs 34 pounds. Oh, 34 pounds.
30 to 30 jump.
Yeah, I might have like,
The bushings definitely weigh less than that piece of tube. Oh,
40.
nice.
Look at that, 6 pounds of weight reduction. That's actually a lot more than I expected.
And that's per side.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's one of the coolest looking things I've made yet.
That's awesome.
Making some sleeves for the inside of that A-arm, and then I'll use some of these, I'm assuming UHMW plastic thingamajigs that we pulled out of a dumpster. Got a whole bunch of them. They make great bushing stock because they're already like the right length and yeah. Got all of these made for both A-arms. It's easier to just do it in production mode, make them all at once. Now, I figured I'd just make those to like the shape and size it was easy to make them. And then cut these. Oh. So what I did wrong here is that I just made them all the same and I made them just this little flange there. I made it fairly thin. What I didn't take into account is that I need a specific outside width, and this tube is already cut to length for the outside. Well, I lied. I'm not done on the lathe. I have to go make a couple more because I did a dumb. Four new ones made with the right offset on the outside and a fancy looking taper as well. I thought about cutting these sleeves to length before I welded all of this, but I realized not only does this provide a bit of a, stiffener so that it doesn't warp when it's welding, but more importantly, it makes sure that these are perfectly in plane, in line with each other, and it wouldn't really be easy to do that without that.
V-arm complete.
Did you say V-arm?
Yeah, it's a V. That's why they call them that, right?
I mean, they don't call them V-arms, so...
Oh, wait, here.
A-arm. It's a hefty chungus of A-arm. Did you hand me the dead blow hammer from the drawer?
Yeah.
A high clearance Humvee A-arm right there. Pretty spiffy. Okay, now One thing I need to decide is how I want to do these push rod mounts. That on there, and then side one will be done. Look at that. Fancy, fancy. Ride height is all kind of irrelevant right now because I haven't actually adjusted any of the many adjustment points and it's not finished being built. So, and that's the super cool thing about this pushrod suspension. We could move this bolt to there, and then that would give us stiffer suspension, less travel, and then we could change the length of the rod. Obviously, small adjustments could be made by just adjusting it, but if you wanted to, I mean, we could just make a new push rod and have pretty much any ride height you want, from like all the way maxed out on the CVs going down or all the way maxed out going up.
Now that the first high clearance A-arm is done, we have everything on the computer. It'll be easy to just flip a mirror image of this, cut everything out, and then piece it together. It's over 2 days of work to build these things, but the look is going to be so worth it. And at the end of the day, it's stronger, lighter, with significantly better ground clearance.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, that looks so much better. Look at all that extra ground clearance.
Yeah.
And more importantly, 20 pounds of weight reduction. Now, on with the seat. Time to put this beautiful Kirky racing seat that weighs approximately 0. Time to replace this Crust Edition Humvee seat.
And you really gotta wonder how many collective hours Steven and I have into editing that nasty oil stain out of the photos.
Yeah, which is from me setting that orbital valve right there on it at some point in the build process, and it leaked some fluid on it. Yeet. Nice. So another plus of this Kirky seat, aside from being better in every way, is that it's better in another way, which is that it sits much lower. Like, it has less padding, basically, which isn't inherently a good thing, but it means I can have more suspension travel for the seat because it's lower, closer to the bottom. So when it travels, there's more distance before my head hits up here. I might also just redo these tubes. Your legs are gonna wanna go out a bit so they're not touching the tire, but having this wide part right in close is what's making it uncomfortable. Got my little chunk of 1 inch to slot inside of there, and then another chunk of 1 1/4 inch. The bend on there is irrelevant. It just needs to extend this a little bit so I can bend it farther. the ram that is going to be the actual ram I use to steer the front wheel of the trike. I went with a slightly bigger one than the one I used for testing for a little more steering force, and more importantly, one with little heim joints in it. Instead of, wow, those are so loose. That's what you get for budget rams. I've decided I'm not going to use any of this original seat mount radius tubing thing. It looked kind of sillier than I thought it would, and also it just doesn't work with this seat very well. The main reason I'm not going to use this is because it gets in the way of your legs. This seat keeps your knees in pretty close, and this like 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch extra width here is right inside your kneecaps, and it's very uncomfortable. The steering wheel also needs to mount somewhere in this space. So anyway, lots of stuff to fit into this little bit of space here. That worked. Now copy paste. I'm replicating this bolt pattern here. And then I'm going to make a plate that uses all 6 of those holes and then welds to that at the bottom there. I'll probably add a couple more mounts elsewhere, but that'll get it located. Start with mounts. We'll see if I can tap these holes. They are plasma cut, so they might be a little hardened, but hopefully I can. Just getting it zip tied so it stays in place while I tack it. I'm pretty sure that's about where it needs to go. Obviously that needs to be rigidified a little bit, but let's see how it feels. Oh, cozy as heck. Yeah, I'll put the footboards kind of there-ish, which brings your legs back so that I don't want anything protruding in front of the tire, because I've got to be able to climb a wall. You know, I mean, for me, being kind of an average height person, my knees just slightly bent should be perfect. Somebody taller can have their knees more bent, and shorter, more straight. Yeah, man, this looks so much better than what I had there. I don't know.
Yeah, and like you were saying, that gives you a lot more room for your knees. And
yeah, which wasn't really an issue when it was the Humvee seat, because it doesn't have any side bolsters, but this thing has extreme side bolsters.
Which we want. You don't want to come out of this machine.
No. Take a couple of shocks and see what makes sense for a seat shock. So we got some options. Air shock, coilover. This one's all super fancy. Got some adjustments, which could be good. Don't know how it'll look, or if it'll fit well, or if the travel makes sense. Aha! 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 Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I need another seat mount in the front here, just to, you can see it has some flex there. It's meant to be mounted on the back, but that's for real race car stuff. And this is not a real race car. Also, there's just nothing to mount it to back there. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is make a mount, or make a tube that goes across here, because I think that's also gonna be the best place to mount the top end of the shock.
Thank you. That's how to do.
Yeah, you too. We got a package here. You know how the last episode I was talking about USB-C flash drives? Somebody said, they sent us this from Amazon and said, just a fan from Connecticut, heard you mention it, so I figured I'd hook you up.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, this is all the stuff to make the rear steer work properly, and a power steering pump to go on the engine. Dang, that is a nice, precise fit right there.
That looks cool.
Wow, that shock and spring rate and everything seems to be actually pretty decent. It really amazes me how often random shocks just work for stuff. You know? And look, we've got our, let's see, we've got a clicker here so we can make it stiffer, or
Just adjust it on the fly.
yeah. On the stiffest setting, it's like almost locked out. Plus, the great thing is this is an internal bypass shock, meaning that the valving gets dramatically stiffer at the end of the travel, which is perfect for this because you wouldn't want it to bottom out, but you want it nice and soft for the normal riding. See, I just took the ends off so that it just fits in between the two inner rails. That's small. Am I into something back here? Is it the tire or what? I'm gonna push down.
Do it again? No, you're not hitting the tire. Doesn't look like you're actually hitting anything.
It feels like I am. Sounds like I am.
And it's really tight clearance on the tire, but you're definitely not hitting there.
When I compress the suspension, is that running into it?
Oh yeah, I think so. Like just the edge of the.
Yeah, I can see it. There's not like a whole lot of options for where it can go, so that's
True.
You know, I figure I'll just kind of put it where it can go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it looks good. As far as I can tell, it's perfectly centered. I'll just take out the zip ties, then I can actually deal with it a lot better. How close is that orbital valve to the wheel? When I push it all the way down?
All the way in. Looks like you have about an inch.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Cool. Oh, that's plenty. Sweet. This quick release is kind of sloppy, but it is kind of a good thing that it's quick release. Makes it getting in and out of here easier. Plus, you can take your steering wheel so nobody can steal your trike when you're, you know,
And we wouldn't want anyone to just drive away in this.
Right. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, I think. The seat's back significantly farther than the Humvee seat was.
That's kind of good.
No, it's great. It means
Keeps your legs in.
Yeah, keeps the legs from the front of the tire. That would look intentional and good. That could be attached to the top part of this. Maybe some sort of structure that holds a headlight or something like that. And or some part of a fender or something. Not that the fender would do anything except direct the mud back down at you. But in the off chance that this thing fell over, it'd be nice to have something that would keep it from squishing your arms and legs. The legs are easy. I could just make some part of this protrude past, you know, the width of your leg, like where the footboards are. I can just make, you know, something beefy there that would keep your leg from getting squashed. But it'd be nice to have an anti-arm squash device. You know, if you were coherent enough to tuck your elbows in last minute. But I mean, most likely if it tried to tip on its side, the rest of the trike would keep you off the ground, but you know. This is a very heavy tire. You wouldn't want it falling on you.
Here.
Yeah, you can put
Some
gauges or switches or whatever. Could even do sheet metal panels here if you really wanted to, and put some speakers.
Oh.
Einstein, do you have garbage in your mouth again? How does this keep happening? Tis not for you. Drop it. No garbage. Einstein. Hi. Hi. Do you like the trike, Einstein? No, you just like snuggles.
I think he approves of this seat.
He approves of me being closer to his level so he can get more attention. That's what he really approves of. That's about enough welding for now. It's pretty much all the way welded. Not that it really needs to be, but since I pulled it out anyway, I figured I might as well weld up everything I could reach. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, whoa. What, are you afraid that Einstein's gonna get your ball? Yeah, I know, that's terrifying. And don't forget, it's very nearly the end of our giveaway, so head over to grindhardplumbingco.com, get your merch, get entered to win a 2024 Cummins. Well, I was hoping to get the footboards done this week, but due to spending, you know, most of a week building the rear lower A-arms, which I'm very happy with, by the way, this is all we got time for this week.